winning the title on Raw, obviously a tape match. What was that night like, and the next ensuing days as you came home? You held the title. There was no events until Raw aired. You take the belt home, I assume, with the family, and just that anticipation, knowing what the world is going to see that first Monday in January of '99.
Yeah, well, first, I think I'll go down in history as the only guy who tried to talk Mr. McMahon out of giving me, having me win the WWE title. I swear when I said, I don't think that's a good idea, I just, in my mind, I saw Dwayne Johnson like scouting the area for a little plant for Ashton Kutcher to come jumping out of and say he's been punked, because nobody thinks it's not a good idea for them to win the WWE title. But Mr. McMahon said he thought it would only enhance the rivalry with me and The Rock. And so I grudgingly agreed. And man, when I won that title, I felt like I had wings. I ran a surprisingly good clip for a guy of my size around the ring a few times, had a huge celebration and ring. And then, like you said, I've got to bring it home, not let my children know their dad's the champion. And wow, they were allowed to stay up till 11 p.m. every Monday night because it was Raw night. And they were so happy and they were celebrating. I broke out the title. To this day, I've got photos of the kids, parading around the living room with the title. And then after this great moment in my life, I watched the replay of WCW, and that's where they gave away not only gave away the ending, but kind of, ran me down in the process, And I mean, Tony knows what he said. I just saw him last weekend. And we laughed about it. And it's funny because he's got a comic book series called Butts and Seats, taken directly from his comment where he said, we know that Mick Foley wrestled here as Cactus Jack is going to win their title. And he said, that'll put butts in seats. And then even worse, like he was hawking a loogie, to the side of the table. And it was a downer for me that night until I found out what the ratings were. And the ratings showed such a tale that as soon as Tony had given away the ending, instead of keeping people from going to WWE, I think 500,000 people switched over almost immediately and stayed there until I won the title, at which point they switched back to see what was going on at the end of Nitro, because Nitro had a show that people wanted to see. They had 48,000 people in the Georgia Dome. I think they had Goldberg versus Nash or Goldberg versus Hogan, one of those marquee matches. And when they gave away the finish, people just wanted to see that victory. I guess they thought I deserved it.
It's such a great moment. And then I think also that night is the loudest Stone Cold pop. I mean, and it wasn't for one of his matches. And I think, when you think back, it's probably, oh man, Stone Cold has to be part of this. But I think the fans wanted you to win that night. And when they knew that he was coming, that meant, wait a minute, Mankind might win. This might have, if Stone Cold's coming down, he's not coming down to help The Rock. It's such a pop.
Right. He came down to help me. And then that just enhanced their story going into WrestleMania, because Rock and I finished with a really, we had a wild and woolly empty arena match that aired during the Super Bowl. And then I think a couple weeks after that, I lost the title. And then those guys were off to the races. But I thought I did a good job in propelling that storyline. And I thought I was a pretty good short-term champion, what we call a transitional champion.
I love that, too, because then I never even realized that was a thing until it became a thing, when people started mentioning it, that you needed someone to lose that title so someone could be the winner of it. You needed a heel to go into WrestleMania so that obviously the face could win. And I was listening to one of your podcasts. I wanted to kind of just, again, because I know that you've answered these questions a million times, but I heard you say that there's a point at the end of 97, 98 that you thought that the character was getting stale, and you'd already done the three faces. You did the Rumble where you came in 3 times, which is amazing, as the 3 guys. But I think 1998, just looking at it, it is such I mean, to have this many things happen, I'm going to list them and then just maybe talk about a little bit of them. You go in as the 3 faces of Foley through the Rumble. You then turn heel because you have the Austin chance in one of your tag matches, and you turn heel. Your first feud in '98 is with Austin. Now Austin is feuding with McMahon, but he needs a wrestler to go in there and do the dirty. That's you as Dude Love. So now the first guy Austin's doing is you and Dude Love. Then you and then Vince do the dancing and have fun. Then it goes to Hell in a Cell, the Taker. And then McMahon turns on you in Survivor Series. This is an amazing year where you are in the middle of every big storyline with every giant name. And I thought when I heard you say, "Well, my character I thought I was burning out." It doesn't sound like it. What a year! When you think of that year,
it was flat going into that match with the Undertaker because, like you said, I've been through a lot. I'd come into the company in '96 as Mankind. Mr. McMahon found out I'd been this Dude Love character, in high school and college. So he allows me to portray Dude Love, allows that dream to come to life, which was great. Now he allows me to become Cactus Jack at Madison Square Garden. Now I'm alternating between doing different guys on different nights, coming in and doing all three in one night. And then I went from being Mankind to Good Mankind to Dude Love, to Bad Mankind, all three, to Bad Mankind, to Corporate Mankind, to Sellout Dude Love, Cactus Jack, to Sellout Dude Love. And it was like, all right, I think I've had enough of this guy. And it wasn't until The Undertaker and I kind of walked our way to the pages of wrestling history that I had to figure out a way for Mankind to connect with the audience without crashing and burning every night. And that's when that character started bringing a lot of humor into the forefront, and people really felt empathetic for the character. And so he was off on a really wild run at that point with Dwayne Johnson through '98 and through the first 3 months of '99.